Hi, this is Holly with Presence Point, and Doug and I are in Cairo, Egypt right now. In fact, we've been here for 12 days or so, and we are with two very special people that we've known almost 20 years. This is Wahid and Laila Waba, both doctors in their own right, PhDs, so I'm a little intimidated by all of the brain power here, but other than that, they're just amazing people. So it is a Shepherds in Action interview today, as you've seen numerous times before, and I'm going to let them tell you where they shepherd because it's a pretty cool story. So, ladies first. Laila, I'll start with you. Tell us where you shepherd.
So I shepherd, my priority shepherding is at home. I shepherd my two sons, my two daughters in love, and my granddaughter Ellie. And then I also shepherd abused girls, and I shepherd children of divorce. So it's a whole thing, yeah. But it's fun, and it's also heartbreaking at the same time.
It's hard what?
Heartbreaking.
Yes, it's heartbreaking.
Yes.
I read Laila's emails, and that's a good word. It's heartbreaking. And how about you, Dr. Wahid?
Well, since I started working in the Middle East and North Africa with people from all over the region, my heart was to help these people spiritually. So we started translating biblical materials to provide for the spiritual nourishment of the people that accept Christ as Savior. Well, at that time there were many people accepting Christ, and so we wanted to help these people. So introducing these materials to the people, I was able to come in contact with many and shepherd many in Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, Palestine, Israel, Egypt, Sudan, North and South, North Africa, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Mauritania, all over the Middle East. And right now we have selected some leaders who are leading the work that we do in these countries, and we meet with them regularly in order to help them and be a shepherd for them.
And that's one of the reasons why we're together right now is I originally knew Wahid and Laila from Walks of the Bible and then International Christian Ministries, and over the years we've kept in contact, but we've been able to be here with the Shepherding Conference with the Sudanese refugees the last few days, and it has been a remarkable experience for us, for sure, and we're grateful for that invitation. Thank you. So these folks and their team have translated all of the shepherding materials into Arabic so that it's easy to read and easy for folks to follow, and it's what is it you told me? In Arabic we read right to wrong, but in English we read wrong to tell me.
We read from right
to left.
Right to left. You read from wrong to right.
That's right. So I'm learning to go backwards with what I'm doing from what I'm used to. I'm just starting to get the hang of it, and now we're leaving. So tell us how you use provision, protection, and presence where you shepherd.
Well, the concept of the Shepherding Conference was it was not a new concept as much as it is putting the concept into an understandable, into points that you can actually use, and you can actually plan for them. Where do I actually provide? How do I do the presence correctly? And like it's as if you go back and you look at your whole life and the different areas where you minister, whether it's at home, in the community, in church, with your family, with your friends, and you just see where you actually lack and where you need to work more. It's also putting, just starting the material with the actual shepherd and what he does with his flock was mind-opening, because you cannot, being a Christian, you cannot but try to just try to apply these to the Good Shepherd, and then you really understand where you are lacking in that, and how we have such a wonderful and awesome shepherd that's shepherding every area of our lives. I think we actually forget But this was it was amazing. I think the Holy Spirit was just all over the conference. It was just a mind opener, I think, to everyone who was there.
Well, it's really the oldest leadership principle, right? I mean, it's God's metaphor for leading, whether he's critiquing shepherds or whether he's giving us counsel in John 10. So it's a beautiful way to be able to pull that. It's not our concept at all. It's just a way we put it together through what he's led us to do.
Yes.
So as you have sons and daughters in love and a granddaughter and these other girls, they're abused girls, how do you provide, protect, and are present for them? How do you implement that? What are some examples?
Let me start with my sons and my daughters in love and my granddaughter. So I think it is more now the presence, more than the provision, but it's the presence and also the protection mainly through praying and, claiming the blood of Jesus over them all the time. So that's mainly with the girls who are abused. I think the protection is giving them the voice to speak out for themselves, which they usually do not, giving them the courage to have actual boundaries, which they have not been taught before. And so just giving them that provision of being able to do that, giving them the presence that I am there for you if you need to speak, if you need, a lot of times, like, some of the girls would tell me, like, she says things she's never told anybody else. And then she becomes so threatened that I might not love her anymore because of the stuff that she shared or the addictions that she went into because of what happened. And it's like, always like, I will never judge you. It's like, I'll always be here for you. And I think this in itself is part of their recovery.
Wow. Presence is so important as our children get older, right?
Yes.
And our children in love get older.
Yes.
We still want to provide and protect through prayer, but we can no longer do those things we used to do when they were a child, nor should we.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So it's a beautiful balance. So Wahid, what about within MELTI? MELTI is, by the way, is the Middle East Leadership Training Institute based in Cairo, and 4G3, which is a umbrella or sister ministry in Atlanta, Georgia. How do you see yourself providing, protecting, and being present for the people you're working with in those roles?
Our provision is spiritual provision. So first of all, we provide the spiritual materials, biblical and applicable, in order for people to know how to live their Christian life. We were faced by the beginning of this year with the COVID hitting us hard, that some of the refugees that we are serving among, especially the Sudanese refugees, they lacked the necessities of life. So at the beginning of this year, we found out that the people whom we are serving spiritually, about 60 families that we are discipling, they lost their jobs. They work on a daily basis. They don't have a regular job. So when they lost their jobs, they didn't have any money to provide for themselves. So we found ourselves, we had a responsibility to do something. Although this was not our focus, yet we started helping these 60 families. And to tell you the truth, we didn't want to share this with our donors so that it's not a mixed message or a confused message. So what happened is that the people working in the ministry itself in MELTI gathered money from among themselves and provided for these 60 families. And then these families said, we are leaders and we are pastors and we are responsible for some people and we don't want to eat and leave these people hungry. So it ended up that we shared with some other donors and we were able to reach 400 families with food materials and the things that they needed. Of course, provision is not spiritual and material only, but also support from our side and being there when they need. This is provision, but protection, I want to tell you that these people has embedded fear in their lives because they were forced to leave their countries and to go into the unknown, to a different country where they are not respected, they are not well treated, they face many struggles and many challenges. So they needed to feel God's protection at this time. So that's what we were sharing with them and praying with them in order to feel that God that God is in control. This is one thing. And the other thing, they are not here by accident. And at the conference especially, I read the part about Joseph in Egypt and how he invited his father to come and join him in Egypt. And when Jacob came and entered into the presence of Pharaoh, Jacob is the one who blessed Pharaoh, and it is mentioned a couple of times in a few verses. And this is strange. How can a refugee bless a king of the country where he is seeking refuge? But it's God's way. It's the blessing is something that God put in us, and we bless wherever we go. So we told them, as Egyptians, we are telling you that you are a blessing in this country. So please release the blessing. We forgive us for all the bad things that we did to you as Egyptians, and for all the insults. And please release us and bless us. The blessing is in your hands. So it was an encouraging message. The third thing is presence. Of course, we need to feel God's presence among us, because many times we feel that we are rejected by our country, we are rejected by our government, we are rejected by our people, but God always have an open door for us, and God is always receiving us with everything we have, whether we are good or bad. So God's love doesn't depend on our being good, on us being good or bad. His love doesn't change, and His love is all the time. And this makes us feel His presence, and through the presence of God, we can feel His hand working among us.
It was powerful. In fact, I'm not even sure I have the words to describe what Wahid just described to you. When Lila and Wahid approached the Sudanese people at the conference and said, we want to ask for forgiveness on behalf of our country, as often the Egyptians intensely despise the Sudanese, to hear the wailing and the weeping and just the deep pain they had experienced, and then to be able to pray over them, to watch them wash the feet of this representative man and woman from Sudan, and then to see their response. It's just, it's on video, but I don't think there's any other way to describe. The words just really aren't there. So it's a powerful message that they both initiated, and it was a blessing to see it, to be a part of it, and to even just be in the room when it was happening. So to wrap up our time on the interview, tell me, if you would, what word of encouragement would you offer to other shepherd leaders? And you are Egyptians who are working with people all over the Middle East, and you love Americans, and you currently live in the United States, and so there's so much in that question, but tell me what's on your heart.
I would say that every morning you open your eyes, think about the Great Shepherd, and see how you can be that shepherd to everybody you meet that day. I think there will be a change, not only in you, because usually when God asks us to do something, He wants to change us before He changes others. But you are going to change the community. I mean, even if it's just the mailman, if it's this person at the grocery store, maybe you can see, God will open your eyes to see the pain of those people that you can shepherd even though you do not know them. And so we've seen this a lot. So we would be at a restaurant in the US, and as the server comes to put the food, we would say, we always pray for our server, what would you like us to pray for? And a lot of them are so surprised, first because they've been seen, maybe for the first time during the day, but also you hear so many painful stories and things that maybe nobody cared to ask. So I think every single morning, just pray, how can I be a shepherd like my God today?
I'm thinking that when Doug and I have done that, no one has ever said, no, thank you. Every single server has said, they've either told a story or became emotional and talked about someone who was ill in their life. Everyone, no matter their belief system, seems to welcome prayer.
Yes.
So that's pretty sweet. Wahid, how about you? What word of encouragement would you have for other shepherd leaders?
I would have loved for many of you to come and join us in this conference, because I want to tell you the truth. We experienced God's presence in this conference. I want to share with you about something that Holly just mentioned now, about the time when Laila and I approached the Sudanese man and woman and washed their feet. I mean, at the beginning, they were reluctant to accept this. And I can understand, I can identify with this because of the amount of hurt that they experienced in our country. But after that, they were so appreciative, and the woman after that, there is a story, there is a secret that I want to share with you.
I don't want you to share that secret.
that you don't know, but it's something that touched my heart in an intense way. This same woman.
I didn't want to tell this story.
Yeah, it's between us.
Okay. Between us. Between us.
This same woman hugged Laila in such a way. If you see the expressions of her face doing this. After that, the next day in the conference, she saw Laila, and she told Laila, "I like your purse."
So, I had bought a.
Let me tell the story.
Okay, I didn't want to that to be like.
We had an estate sale in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, where we live, and we went in and we found a very nice bag, and I told Laila, "Would you ask about this?" She said, No, that's too expensive. And
It's a Michael Kors bag.
Yeah, so the retail price for this is more than $300. And it was there for $70. And as an Egyptian, we bargain. Don't laugh at us. But Laila took it, I think, for $50. But Laila loved it so much. And the woman said, "I love this bag. When you go to your room, just get everything out of it and give it to me." And Laila, without any hesitation, she did this. And I was so touched, because I want to tell you something. Giving is something, but sacrificial giving is something else. And God didn't spare anything. He gave His own Son. So please, when you give sacrificially. And this is a lesson that I learned last week, and I thank God because He talked to my heart about this.
It's I appreciate your humility in not wanting it to be shared, but I also appreciate how it's spoken to me, and how it can speak to people who are watching. So thank you, Wahid, for sharing it, even if you get in trouble later.
She will forgive me.
She will forgive you.
She learned
loves
in the
you.
conference.
I know. Yeah, she learned the conference for this. So I'm sure by now you're not wondering why we're interviewing Doctors Wahid and Lila Waba. They are an amazing couple. They have, as I said, been in our lives in one way or another for nearly 20 years. And we are grateful to have been here in Cairo, Egypt, and outside of Cairo at a place called Mountain of Prayer to serve with them, to serve them, and to work with the Sudanese people. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. And I pray that this touches your heart in some way and that it help you live more deeply into your calling this week. We bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.